bolt of lightning. Yeah! It's alive! It's alive!
He's gonna take you back to the past. Play the shitty game that suck ass. He'd rather have a buffalo. Take a diarrhea dump in here. He'd rather eat the rotten asshole. I'm a roadkill skunk and down it with me. He's the angriest gamer you've ever heard. He's the angry Nintendo nerd. He's the angry Atari Sega nerd. He's the angry video game nerd.
This is a game. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein on Super Nintendo. Game. Good.
Good.
You bet your ass it's good. Here's a controller for you. Just hit start, knock yourself out. Have fun. Looks like Uncle Fester. Oh, come on, hit him. Yeah, you like that game, huh? Go in the building. What's the point of going in the doors? Little shortcuts? Yeah, get the fire. What was the point of that? You gotta ride the elevator thingy? Oh, look, you fell. You gotta get it to come down. Pull the ropes. Come on, where are you going? What are you doing? I don't know where you're supposed to go.
Game! No good!
Yeah, it's frustrating, isn't it? Okay, alright, we'll play another game. Try the Adventures of Dr. Franken. This one should be easy for you. Check it out. Frankenstein's got sunglasses. Yeah, they're trying to make him hip for the kids. Frankenstein's cool. Well, actually, since the game's called The Adventures of Dr. Franken, I would assume that you play as the doctor. So why are you the monster? Dr. Franken? What's that, a Hadouken? The Sonic Boom and the Flash Kick? Wow, this game's another Street Fighter wannabe. Here you go in the door. What's wrong? You're pushing the buttons? Oh, are you hitting every button? You pushing up, pushing down? I don't know, maybe there's something you're supposed to get. I'm sorry, you don't have to fight. Biggest mistake Dr. Frankenstein made. If you're gonna make a monster, you better be able to shut it down. But unfortunately, I can't shut off the game because the monster's in my soul. It's my duty to play it for myself and explain why this game sucks. Because I created a monster and there's no turning back.
Okay, so I figured out that the goal is to collect pieces of a passport which says F-Bone. Okay, so is this Dr. Frankenbone or just F-Bone? Is he the monster, the scientist? Who knows? The control is ass, but it's that certain kind of assness that's hard to explain. It's like if you push one button, it attacks behind, like if there's somebody behind your back, but if you hit the other button, it attacks in the front. So it takes a lot of time to get used to figuring out which direction you need to be facing to use each attack. If you ever played Double Dragon 2, it's the same thing. It's all screwed up. It looks like a pretty easy game, but I can't stop dying. You get this huge life bar, but you take 2 or 3 hits and you're dead. But I think the biggest problem is that you move too fucking fast. It seems like you never have time to react to enemies and obstacles, so you have to keep tapping the D-pad so that you don't run into things. And that's no fun. It's like in Sonic the Hedgehog. You love running fast. You want to keep the flow going. You don't want to stop moving, but sometimes you gotta slow down and pay attention. But the only difference is that that game was fun and feels rewarding to that patience, but this game is fucking garbage. Now for the feature presentation. Well, the cartridge says Frankenstein the Monster Returns, but the title screen just says Frankenstein. What the hell? As the game begins, you'll notice that the graphics are pretty good for NES standards, and it reminds you of Castlevania. Essentially, it's the same concept, but instead of Dracula, it's Frankenstein you're going after. You're trying to rescue some girl, I don't know, who cares? And yeah, the monster in the game is called Frankenstein. I guess nobody ever read the book or saw any of the movies. So basically, you walk right and kill everything in your way, but just to confuse you, there's all these doors which don't have much purpose whatsoever. If you go in, you might find some energy, but some of them, like this one, takes you into these sewers where you have to fight a dragon which looks like Barba from Zelda 2. If you beat the dragon, you get some energy, which might make up for whatever energy you lost fighting the dragon, so how about just don't go in there and fight the dragon at all? It only exists to make the game a little more complicated, but all you want to do is keep walking right, and don't go in any of the doors. Then you get to the stage boss, which is the Reaper, kind of like Dracula from Simon's Quest. But here's the real annoying part. When you beat him, a bird comes, and trust me, you gotta kill it. If you let this bird touch you, it carries you back to the beginning of the stage. So, you fucking gotta go through all over again. And you think that the Reaper would still be dead? But no! You have to beat the Reaper again! And the bird! Again! What the fuck? Afterwards, you fight some Minotaur thing, which is the real stage boss, and then you get a cutscene which is slow and drawn out. Why can't the text move any faster? In the second stage, you fight your way through the woods. Some of the trees have platforms, but you're never sure where you can stand. Like, look at this! I'm standing right in between them. Don't you think I would fall down? Then you climb up a giant tree stump, I guess, and there's some random guy who talks to you. Afterwards, you don't know where to go, so at first I climbed back down and then walked all the way back to the start and wandered everywhere till I found out that you're supposed to jump down the right side. But you keep getting stuck on the edge, so it's never clear where to go. Like, couldn't there be a sign or something? Then immediately you fight the evil he-monster and she-monster of the trees, which is what the guy just told us about. Doesn't it seem cheap that right after he tells us about a certain monster, they appear? It doesn't build up any mystery. Remember the first Zelda game? You knew that you had to fight Ganon, the instruction manual talked about him, characters in the game talked about him, but at the time, nobody knew what Ganon looked like. It created all this suspense. But imagine if they never talked about him until right before you walked into that room. It's like, oh, there's this monster you gotta fight. Oh, there's the monster, fight him! Then you come to this swamp where you have to hop on lily pads, but there's barely enough space to jump from one pad to the next. If you miss, you have to fight a merman underwater. You can't swim back up. The only way to get out is to beat the merman, but there's no real strategy, so you just keep attacking him and praying not to get hit. When you die, you'd expect to start right back at the swamp, but no, it starts you off with the merman. Yeah, you don't get a second chance on the lily pads. You have to fight the merman over and over until either you beat him or run out of lives. And you only get a few continues. The only way to pick up where you left off is to enter a password, and then you still have to play the whole stage all over again. Finally, you make it back to the swamp. This time, I'm just gonna try to inch my way to the edge of that lily pad. Oh, fuck! It goes away! Wow, you're really smushed between a bag of piss and a pile of shit. If you jump right away, you don't make it. If you take your time and carefully plan your jump, then the lily pad sinks. And once you fall down, you might as well hit reset, because the whole game's over. Look, I'm standing as close to the fucking edge as possible, and even then it's still not enough to clear the distance. So, I give up. I'm putting in a password for the third stage. Here, you get this pretty cool graveyard scene. The tombstones attack you. I think they were really running out of ideas here. Then I'm going through this castle, and the enemies are too hard to kill, so I find myself running past them just to get ahead. But that's not the mark of a good game, is it? Because doesn't it mean that you're not enjoying the game if all you want to do is bypass everything so you can get the game over as quick as possible? Then you gotta fight a floating red skull that calls itself the Gatekeeper. What's the hand's name? The Keymaster? Then you fight Dark Warrior. Ooh, scary name. How about Death Guy or Mr. Kill? Stage 4 is the final stage. Yeah, they chose to keep the game as short as possible, yet as annoying as possible. This place is all fucked up. There's all these weird faces in the background. Like, where are you supposed to be? Inside Satan's asshole? Then you start fighting all the classic monsters. First it's the Wolfman, but here he's called the Man-Wolf. After you beat him, you get a new weapon, three-way fire. It's kind of like the spread gun in Contra. But guess what? When you get hit only one time, you lose it, which happens only in a matter of seconds. Then you get smothered by sackless balls. Yeah, floating testicles. Then you fight Dracula. Yeah, Dracula's in this game. His arm looks all cockeyed, looks like a dick, like his hand is a dickhead. Dickhead. So once again, it's like Castlevania, almost as if Frankenstein and Dracula just switched places. Then you have to swing on vines like Jungle Hunt, but you end up just jumping through the vines and die. So now, just to try again, I gotta type in the fucking password. It's so tedious. I mean, it's not the longest password I've ever seen, but it's still longer than necessary. But unlike most passwords, if you move the D-pads to the sides, it doesn't move your cursor over to the other side. So say your cursor's on the letter K and you need to move to J. In most games, all you need to do is move the cursor left and it will show up on J. But here, you can't do that. You have to move the fucking cursor all the way to the J. A lot of effort considering that J comes right before K. It's so fucked up. And also, if you enter the password and it turns out that it's wrong, like if you messed up on one letter, it erases the whole thing and you gotta type it in all over again. Why can't I just go back and fix the one letter?
I really hate this password thing in general, because what's the point? You should have unlimited continues. Yeah, because the only reason you should have to put in a password is if you turn the game off and want to come back to it later. As long as you're still playing, you're going to keep playing the same stages over and over and over again, so what's the point of sending you all the way back to the beginning? The earlier stages are the easiest, and those are the stages you end up playing the most. It's the later stages where you need the most practice. It's all about trial and error. Like imagine if in high school you fail out of senior year. What happens? You do senior year again, right? You don't have to go back and do freshman year again. So bottom line, have unlimited continues. God damn it!
Another big piss off about this game is that enemies can kill you even after they're dead. Like you have to wait for them to completely die before you can pass. Anyway, I can't get past the vine, so I'm gonna cheat with Game Genie, the last resort. But check out these codes. Almost unlimited energy, invincibility after losing the first life may cause the game to freeze, start with no continues, cannot collect extra energy, and one hit is fatal.
What kind of codes are these? Is there like some sick fuck who thinks the game isn't hard enough? Like somebody who wants to be tortured some more? Well, how about this? I got a code for you. How about a code that just starts you off dead? Yeah, well, I don't want to freeze, so I guess I'm gonna go with almost invincibility, whatever that means.
At first, the code works fine, but then I found out that if you collect energy, it takes life away. Not that you would need to collect energy, but it's kind of silly, isn't it? And guess what? Once you get to the vines, you still die. Well, that would have been nice. Why couldn't the code say invincibility except for the vines? Even if you pass the vines, the invincibility goes away, so you're left with your own wits to fight Frankenstein. So, fuck the Game Genie, and let me tell you, when Game Genie doesn't help, you know you're fucked. So you fight Frankenstein. His first form's pretty easy, but then he grows into a giant super Frankenstein. Come on!
Come on! Come on, you fucking Stein!
It's gonna take you back to the past, to play some cheating games that suck ass. You rather have a buffalo, take your time to read, jump in the air. You rather be a rotten asshole, of a rocky skunk and down in the beer. Is the angry scared backward? Is the angry Nintendo nerd? Is the angry Atari Sega nerd? Is the angry video game?
The movie, which sucks balls. Imagine that. Level 4, I guess you're out of gas, so RoboCop has to hoof it on foot. Then you fight Ed 209. He's real easy and can't hit you if you're on the platform. Fortunately, you're on the last level. All you gotta do is avoid Scorpion and Sub-Zero and just go to this console. Once all the numbers show up, the two ninjas slice each other's heads off. Oh, whatever, I don't care. I'm done. You know, it wasn't that bad. I'd buy that for $1. No more, though. Anyway, now that I've played all those, my nerd directives have been cleared.
Previously on the Angry Video Game Nerd.
Take it, you fucking game!
It's a boy? I'll call you back. I gave you the money. Now give me back my son! You fuck.
Resistance is futile.
And now, the conclusion.
Sonic 06 was the game everybody and their grandma wanted me to review, so I did. But there's more to it. I only half-assed it. So why not go whole ass, which is the opposite of asshole? The torture continues, but the torture is all mine. So first off, I figured out how to beat Silver and kick the shit out of him. Once you learn his pattern, he's pretty easy. Just wait for him to try to launch the furniture at you and homing fuck him in the face until he's dead. Finally, we get to the cutscene. Silver Shithog throws Sonic back as he makes a stupid face and hits a wall. Oh, and of course, the princess gets kidnapped again, only seconds after saving her. If she's just gonna get captured again, I might as well let Eggman keep her so I wouldn't have to deal with all this bullshit. Now Sonic has to go fight Eggman at his base, the White Acropolis. So now I run around aimlessly once again until I finally hit that magic area that lets me progress in the story. There's no clear designation of where to go. I swear the game just wants you to run around aimlessly until it decides you can progress. I hate this goddamn town. The droning music and robotic people freak the shit out of me. I mean, look at this. Why are there no guardrails? If Sonic falls, he dies. What happens if a normal person falls in there? That's unsafe, goddammit. And right here, if Sonic stands on the curb a certain way, he splits reality into two alternate dimensions existing in the same space and time. The visuals in this game give me a headache. Every time Sonic runs up or down a curb, the screen jitters. And it's not subtle either. The camera jerks down or up. So anyway, once you find the portal to the next level or act mission, you're treated to a totally rad snowboard level with some of the worst controls imaginable. Leave it to this game to make a snowboarding level suck. This should be one of the high points in the game, but of course, it's a warm, frothy mug of chocolate shit shake. Half the time I can't go anywhere, or I go in the completely wrong direction. Beat the act mission and Dr. Eggman sends you into the future. You get another cutscene, and Shadow the Hedgehog tells you that on August 29th, 1997, Eggman creates Skynet, and the world nukes itself, giving way for the machine war unless Tails gives birth to John Connor. Nah, that doesn't happen, but basically it's a machine war and time travel. Why do you need that in a Sonic game? Whatever happened to just saving animals from becoming robots? Telekinesis, time travel, treasure hunting, bat tits, human princess and hedgehog romance. This game just feels like it was never meant to be a Sonic game. I'm sorry to repeat myself, but sweet mercy, these loading screens are fucking shit. And what's worse is after it loads, you're still playing Sonic 06. Between the levels taking forever and the sheer amount of loading screens you see, this game is just stealing your life away. You're stuck playing the game, but time is moving on. People are getting older, friends come and go. New music is starting to sound like shit to you. I see two squirrels fucking outside my basement window. Oh, now there's a new baby squirrel already. I could have spent all this time watching that documentary about left-handed mattress makers, and you could have had a better hobby, like running around the woods sniffing wolf's assholes. Could you imagine getting close enough to a wolf to sniff its asshole? Let's play the fucking game. Every level from here on out gets more and more frustrating. The platform jumping in the lava level is some of the worst. I like how when Sonic dies, he just casually lays down on the lava.
Oh, the Sonic 06 has got me beat.
Next you fight isblazed or iblis, the prickly lava dick from hell. He's easy, but you'll be fighting the camera just as much. Hit him a few times, loading screen, cutscene, rinse and repeat. So once again, we're back here, running around for another half an hour. Radical train, dude! Yeah! And what exactly makes this train so radical? I don't fucking know. It looks like a regular train. Next time I have to travel, I'm gonna take the radical train.
On second thought, I should have carpooled.
Beat the rest of the level, and you once again save the princess, only to have her immediately stolen back by Eggman, and then saved again by Sonic within a matter of minutes. Next, on to another cutscene filled with awkward sexual tension between a cartoon hedgehog and a human princess. And look, Sonic even gives her the bedroom eyes. 20 loading screens and another creepy cutscene later, and guess what? The princess gets captured! Again! This time she just turns herself over to Eggman. A big fuck you to all your hard work. So now you play as Tails for some reason, which is annoying. He's slower than shit coming out of Sloth, and the sound of his tail spinning is maddening. Seriously, listen to this sound repeatedly for a half hour. Now we're on to the real motherest of fucks. We're nearing the end of the game, but these last two levels are worse than anything up to this point. It starts with 3 trials to make it to the ancient castle. The first is the trial of knowledge. This will test your mind. More like it'll test my fucking patience. The whole point is to take the correct portals to get to the end. Nothing but trial and error. Just keep picking different portals until you get out. It sucks. The trial of courage is next, and it's a real heap of hog waste. This is definitely the worst of the 3 trials, because you have to beat a bunch of enemies without any rings. Make one mistake, and you're dead. Last is the trial of love. Pick either Amy or the princess. It makes no difference either way. After the final trial, you get to ride an eagle up to the next level as it shits mid-flight. Get ready for this. You better buckle up your shit belt because this game is about to get turned up to 11 on the dick turd scale. This level takes forever, and if you get a game over, you have to do all these trials again. This level took me over an hour to beat, for real. You get to play as Silver in this level, who for some reason doesn't want to kill you anymore. He's okay because he has telekinesis, but he still controls like anal leakage. But you should already expect that.
The engines are malfunctioning.
She dies?
Elise!
So Sonic fails to save her, and then she dies. So even when you do save her, she either gets captured again or turns herself in, or fucking gets obliterated. So after you watch the princess get fucking destroyed, Sonic and Silver use their Chaos Emeralds to go back in time. Really? So they could just go back in time. Well, why not go back in time and kill Eggman when he was a baby? How about go back in time and stop this game from being made? Anyway, so you run around town, you ring 3 bells, you open the final level, which is the aquatic base. All right, here it is, the final act mission. By now, you've adjusted yourself to the crap factor, and it's not that the game is any easier, it's just that you know how to approach its shittiness after wasting hours of your life. That is until I reach by far the most son of a bitchiness obstacle in the entire game, the giant steel ball. This thing flies all over the damn place with just a slight touch of the joystick. If the ball touches the laser, you fall to your death. I'm losing all my fucking lives here. Fuck. All right, we're almost done. Just focus. We're almost done. Whew. Yeah! I'm almost there. I can feel it. I reach this room that looks like a goddamn Virtual Boy game, except you'd actually rather play the Virtual Boy than this garbage. Run through the windows, kill the remaining robots, and you reach the end of the stage. So after 3 more cutscenes and 3 more loading screens, it's time. The final showdown between you and Eggman. The fight is frustrating as all hell. Every time he attacks, the camera moves, which changes the control directions. If you're not ready for it, you can fly off the platform. The only way to attack is to wait for him to fly at you, then grab onto the horn and crash him into the falling bombs. After you get 3 hits, his canopy opens and you can attack him by homing into his face. All right, here we go, I got him. Final shot, here we go. Damn, if that isn't the sweetest loading screen ever. That's right, give me that motherfucking S rank. So on to the final cutscene. Sonic carries the princess out of the flaming wreckage of Eggman's ship, the two share another sappy moment, and then like a vision of true beauty, the ending credits. Thank God. Sonic 06 is over. Oh, I can move on with my life. Except there's a bunch of extra side episodes that are essential to the plot. Seriously, the last thing I want to do after beating Sonic 06 is play more fucking Sonic 06. I'd rather rip every individual pube out of my scrotum with salad tongs than play this anymore.
How did this happen?
Beat these episodes and you get the final one, which is the most frustrating. First off, Sonic dies. Yep, Sonic dies. So everyone has to scramble to get the 7 Dragon Balls, Chaos Emeralds, to save his life. If you have the patience, you can collect them all and put this shit to rest. The princess uses the emeralds to wake up Sonic and what? Wow. Can't say I've ever seen that before. Well, Sonic 06, it's all done. Just to think, all the hours spent, all that time, all that torture, and now it's all over?
Yeah, you like it? Yeah, give it to me. Yeah. Oh, you like when I give you those bedroom eyes, right?
All right, well, what game am I gonna torture myself with today?
Good morning, nerd.
Wait, who said that?
Down here, nerd.
The fuck is that thing?
It's me, Charlie. I've come to help you with your game decision. I've got one in mind I think you'll like.
Oh, yeah. That's just what I need. Thank you very much. How about you just get the hell out of here before I smash your circuits all over the floor?
Why don't you take a look at the game first?
Oh yeah, Charlie's Angels, the movie, the game. I heard that one's some grade A ass.
Indeed it is, nerd. But you'll only find out if you play. Now play it.
Okay. All right, so somebody comes and makes me play a game. Freddy, Jason, Bugs Bunny, speakerphone. This is an all-time low. We're reaching here. And you know where. What do you think I do all day? Just sit around and play shitty games?
He's gonna take you back to the past to play the shitty games that suck ass. He'd rather have a buffalo take a diarrhea dump in his ear. He'd rather eat the rotten asshole of a roadkill skunk and down it with beer. He's the angriest gamer you've ever heard. He's the angry Nintendo nerd. He's the angry Atari Sega nerd. He's the angry video game nerd.
Charlie's Angels. It was a TV show about 3 private investigators who work for a mysterious billionaire named Charlie. The show was a hit and helped launch Farrah Fawcett to stardom. In 2000, they remade it as a feature film with Cameron Diaz, Drew Barrymore, and Lucy Liu. It was a success and helped popularize over-the-top kung fu-style fighting with American audiences. Not everyone liked it. Roger Ebert gave it only half a star, calling it eye candy for the blind, and that it was like the trailer for a video game movie, lacking only the video game and the movie. But of course, here is the video game, which came out the same year as the movie's sequel, Full Throttle, which was deemed unwatchable, which I guess means the game is going to be unplayable. The game begins with the Statue of Liberty being stolen. New York is orphan? What? Is the Statue of Liberty New York's mommy? Shouldn't it be New York is orphaned? Or New York is an orphan? Yeah, I got a headline. This game sucks. The goal in this game is to find out who's stealing the world's monuments. So it's like Mario's Missing. In your first missions, you have to infiltrate a bikini contest. I have no idea how those two things are related. It might have been explained in the opening cutscene, but I was distracted by all the characters' soulless dead eyes. You start the first level as Cameron Diaz's character, and... Oh, why'd they do this to her face? She looks like the Joker.
Love that Joker.
Is part of her head shaved? Does she have fucking pink eye? I mean, why the sweet name is shit that they make her so hideous? She's supposed to be undercover, but for some reason everyone on this beach knows who she is and just starts beating the shit out of her. Ow, Jake. Leave me alone, Anne. Yeah, they gave all the enemies names like it's Final Fight or something. Actually, this plays a lot like a side-scrolling beat-em-up, but in 3D. In Final Fight or Streets of Rage, you'll get to parts where the screen locks and you can't progress until you beat the living fuck out of everyone in the section. It worked for those games during that time period, but at this point in gaming history, we were used to being able to freely explore all around a level. But here, you hit an invisible wall every 5 seconds. Oh, and the camera angles. They make me want to dip porcupine quills in a toilet bowl cleaner and then jab them into my fucking eyeballs. It's super disorienting. Sometimes you'll see an enemy in the distance, you'll start running to do a jump kick or something, and then whoa, camera changes and you're not sure where he went. Then 10 people come and clobber you with pipe wrenches. I don't get it. This isn't Resident Evil or Final Fantasy with their pre-rendered backdrops. Why wouldn't they just give you full control of the camera so I know what's going on? Look at this. There's grenades and wrenches coming at me. There's no way to dodge or avoid them. If only you could rotate the camera, you'd be able to see where everything's coming from. Oh, what the fuck? Somebody throws a fucking fire extinguisher? Oh. 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 Back on track. You can switch between the different angels, but there's no point because you have to play as all of them anyway. After you play as Cameron Diaz, you switch to Lucy Liu, and what the hell is going on here? Her ass is gigantic. The proportions are not accurate. Lucy Liu's ass is not that big. I checked. For research.
Oh, sure. Research.
Shut up! And just in case you didn't notice the ass right away, you get this ladder climbing part. It's 30 uninterrupted seconds of ass. Reminds me of that scene from Metal Gear Solid 3, but awful. Well, one more angel to go. Let's see what they did with Drew Barrymore. Oh, she looks like some scary doll, like a fucking Chucky or something. What's this? It looks like she's wearing assless pants, like chaps, which are always assless. Oh, how did they do this? They took 3 attractive women and made them look terrifying. Why? And I haven't even started talking about the gameplay. Well, let's break it down. Every level is the same. The angels have to follow the arrow from Crazy Taxi, fight their way to the end of a level, and flick a switch so the other angels can progress. Along the way, you can get weapons and extra lives. If you really hate yourself, you can also collect film reels and memory sticks to see bonus videos and pictures. Yay! There's also power items that restore your health. Drew Barrymore gets the lighter, Lucy Liu gets a muffin like the kind she tries to make in the films, and Cameron Diaz gets a CD. I have no idea why. Each level has the same 4 or 5 enemies with the same names, and the names don't really match either. This guy is named Ike when clearly he's Mario.
Hey, it's a Lucy Liu. I love your movies.
Sometimes you'll have to fight a boss